scary. Okay. Okay, this mock exercise, we're going to take a look at a case called Wildcat Liar. And this case is all about, again, understanding cost in terms of fixed and variable, and then allowing us to look for, I guess, as a tool to estimate future cost. All right, so this is what we're going to do. Again, it's the idea of looking at how costs behave. So this question is a university called Wildcat Liar has been reporting losses in the past month. In July, for example, the loss was 5,000. So you've got revenues of 70, prepared foods of 21, service personnel, cashiers, administration, university surcharge, and utilities. So let's read some more. It says that the liar purchased prepared foods directly from the university food service. The charge varies proportionately with the number of foods, the number and kinds of meal served. Personnel who are paid by liars serve the food, tend the cash register, bus and clean tables, and wash dishes. The staffing levels rarely change, so you know that that's got to be fixed. Okay, because if it doesn't change, the existing staff can usually handle daily functions in volume. Admin costs are primarily the salary of liars' managers and her office staff. Again, this is probably most likely fixed. So let me just put that. Okay, so I'll just put the word F beside it, fixed. But just reading through it. And it says, it says university charges a surcharge of 10% of revenue. So do you know this is variable? And that's based on 10%. And that makes sense because 10% of 70,000 is 7,000. And utilities are the cost of cooling, heating, and lighting the liars during its normal office hours. And again, we need to assess whether that is a fixed or variable. But that's most likely probably fixed. Again, we're going to see another question that perhaps this may be a combination of fixed and variable. Now, going back to the food, it says the charge is proportionate to the kinds of meals. So if we don't order any meals, we don't get charged. So that to me is variable. Okay, so I'll just highlight the fixed and leave the variable as unhighlighted. So let's look at the first question. It says list the fixed. Part B says list the variable. So let's do that. So we kind of did part A and B already. So fixed cost and variable cost, I'll just short form as FC and VC. So we know that food is variable. And we know that in the service, cashier, and admin, staff are fixed. Now, we know that the surcharge, university surcharge, we just said it was variable, right? It's a function of revenue, 10%. And utilities, we know that it's a combination of fixed and variable. But in this question, we're going to assume it's all fixed. Okay, now, part C says, write out the cost function. It says, asking us to write the cost function. We know that this is based on how many units? How many units? Okay, so we don't know how many students, right? But we do know that the cost, the variable cost, is probably a function of revenue. Because revenue in this case is the cost driver. So this is C. So we're going to assume that revenue is the cost driver. Because remember, this is part of surcharge is based on revenue, right? So in this case, it's a cost driver for variable cost. Now, normally, the cost driver is quantity, but we're going to assume that the total revenue is a driver for variable instead of quantity. Because how do we know? Well, first of all, we weren't given the quantity anyway, so we had no choice but to use revenue in this case. So we'll take variable cost is take the 28,000 divided by revenue, which is 70,000. So it's 40% of total revenue. That's our equation. So our equation is total cost is fixed cost plus 40% of total revenue. Now, part D says estimate the profit and loss for August if revenue is 80. So D is total cost for August. It's 47,000 plus 40% of 80,000 to give us 79,000. Now, what's our total profit? So total profit is 80 less 79. So 1,000. Now, explain why the original data show a loss, but part D shows a profit. So be specific. So we know that fixed cost doesn't change. So the increase in revenue from 70 to 80, okay, given the fact that 47 of that doesn't change, it's only going to affect variable cost. So that's the reason why. So the variable cost is only expected to increase by 40% of that 10,000, 4,000. So if the revenue goes up by 10, variable cost goes up by 4, there's going to be an improvement in profits of 6. That's why we had a 5,000 loss at 70, but at 80,000 revenue, this is going to be 1,000, an increase of 6,000. And how did I get to 6,000? Well, we know that the increase of 10 is a function of 40% of, is it 40% of revenue? Yeah. So 40% of revenue is 4,000. So how come this doesn't work? Hold on, give me 1 second. Yeah, so the increase in profit of 10 and the contribution margin of that increase. Oh, wait. The variable cost increases by 4. Therefore, profit increases by 6. And that's what this is. Right? So think about it. Profits go up by 10. The variable cost goes up by 4. So 10 minus 4 is the profit should go up by 6. That's exactly what happened. Okay. Is the university's opportunity cost if it closes the wildcat liar? So what is the opportunity cost? So first of all, we know that the university, if they close out the rest, the wildcat liar, what's going to happen? It's going to lose the surcharge, because this university is going to get a surcharge, right? So they're not going to see that. Okay, And so what else? It's not going to see that. And they won't create a loss. So think about it. If they close out the Wildcat Liar, they're going to save on the loss, but they're going to lose out on the $7,000 surcharge. So the overall opportunity lost or cost by closing it out is $2,000. Okay? So the opportunity cost to the university by closing out Wildcat is, first, there's savings of loss of $5,000, but they're also going to lose. They're going to have the. They're going to give up. I guess let's call it the giving up. Give up the surcharge revenue of $7,000. So altogether, there's going to be a $2,000 loss to the university. Okay, thank you.